Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so tonight we have the 8 of Cups, which has everything to do with indolence. This is a card of, maybe some disappointment. Maybe there have been some tough situations going on, right? But we'll see. We'll see what's going on in these tea leaves, see what they have to say. All right, so let's take a look here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. If you'd like to hit the like button or leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. All right. So it appears that we have something going on. There's something happening. We not only have the 8 of Cups, we have the Tower. You can see it right here. Ooh, I hit the little thing. We have the Tower here, okay? We have a person. If you've ever seen the Tower card, there's sometimes people depicted kind of falling out of the situation, kind of a little bit of chaos and confusion, and it's disruptive, right? It's a disruptive energy. It is an energy of some panic and, maybe feeling kind of blindsided by this circumstance that has arisen. So we have that Tower. We have the person here. They also have in their hand a scythe. So it does feel, like maybe kind of a Saturn, Kronos, death energy, right? The harvester. And up here, we have another person. It looks like maybe trying to help somebody out of the situation, okay? And it does look like they have their hand in hand there. Almost kind of, you can see, interlocked, right? So, I feel like there is a change. There's something fundamental about your life that is shifting. Now, this could be like, loss of a job. It could be health issues. It could be, moving. It's like you get the notice in the mail. They're raising the rent. Exponentially, basically. And I'm laughing not because it's funny, because it is absurd, right? We're just in an era of things it's hard to know what to even believe anymore, right? It just all seems so unmanageable. And so there's this thing that's happening, and it's like, what am I gonna do? It's not crumbled yet, right? But we know that something has to change, okay? And it feels like we have somebody who's willing to help, somebody who's willing to get in there and assist you, help you find a resolution, or at least options that maybe you hadn't thought of, okay? This might not be easy for you, Sagittarius. You're the one that's usually giving other people help. You are the one that other people can rely on, right? And so when you are in the place of, needing somebody to kind of intervene, somebody to show up for you, it might be hard for you to accept that help or to even trust in it. And that's the big thing. I think it's this, I can't really trust that anybody's going to actually do what they say, or they're actually even going to show up at all, right? And then this happens. It may be that you are in a place where you don't exactly know which way to go. You're trying to figure that out. And this assistance kind of emerges within your life. And I could see where that feels uncomfortable. But I think in this situation, it might be part of learning from this ordeal. And that is to accept that energy, right? Accept that help, that leap of faith into trusting that somebody is doing what they said they're going to do. That you can put, some of your grief and burden onto this person so they can help you kind of carry the weight of what's happening. And, ultimately, I feel like this is something that will truly help you get through this situation and really navigate it in such a way that you might avoid catastrophe altogether, right? So often we have these things come up in our life, and I don't know if you're like me, but when I get news of something that, I had not planned for it, all of a sudden it just emerges. It shows up on my doorstep. I panic. I mean, I do. Maybe not always outwardly, but the wheels, the hamsters in my brain are like on overload, right? It's like they've had a whole bunch of energy drinks. I'm just trying to sort through it, figure it out, and also, I'll have an anxiety attack at the same time. And then I will, in fact, miss some of my options because I'm so in survival mode that I don't see the larger picture. I'm not thinking about maybe some of the more obvious practical, pathways to go down. And having somebody kind of say, hey, I've been through this. I know what to do. Or have you thought of this, and this, and it is. Sometimes we do. We just need to talk it out. That's another thing for Sagittarius. It's not always easy for you to even express the difficulties that you're going through. You just kind of suck it up most of the time and get through it, right? And that's not always helpful. It's not. And so, I know it's not. But, it does. It comes down to, a lot of factors. Like, how were we raised? Were we listened to? Do we feel like here, and this is my other problem with people. So maybe you also relate to this, is that I don't want to bother people. I don't like to be an inconvenience to people. My biggest deal in life is I don't like to waste people's time. And I can easily go to an extreme with that, where I don't want to bother anybody. They don't have time for this, or they don't want to deal with this. Why would I bring somebody into my grief, into my anxiety? So I just don't say anything at all, and that is not helpful either. It just doesn't help. So the other part of this is that we have the harvester, usually a god of agriculture will be seen with the scythe, but it also indicates an ending, right, or death, and a kind of movement into those colder months, into the quiet months, the months of incubation, of hibernation, of all the sleepy days that come with, late fall, winter, early spring. And so I wonder if this will be something that goes on. If you're in the northern hemisphere, of course, we're a few months off, right? Not that far. I just saw a thing that said, I forget even how many days, but we're like just a couple days, it feels like, away from Halloween already. How? How did that happen? I've seen the Halloween stores opening in our town, so it's just time is flying. So I do feel like this will be in that time period. Now, you might be in the southern hemisphere. You're like, I'm already in these months, right? And so, this might be happening sooner for you. This might be something that is a current situation, not something that's coming up. So, you're in it, okay? And I feel like, let's keep going and seeing what maybe can clarify even what the situation might be. So we have the Fool. We have it looks like a bird above carrying a message. So the Fool is carrying a message. We have a person who is walking away, even marching away, really, right here. We have a horse. Oh, we have a tree. Look at that scary face. It reminds me of a Wizard of Oz. And it says B. B-E. So I feel like this is maybe there seems to be this feeling of I've been fooled, like some clarity has happened, and you feel foolish, like you've been deceived on some level, and oddly, I feel like it's kind of freeing, because I feel like this is something, it's almost like you've been gaslit about something, right? Deceived, manipulated, and kind of made to feel like, yeah, you're reading too far into this. This isn't what's going on. I don't even see what you're seeing. How could you think that? These kinds of conversations where it's like, yeah, but I feel it. I know it, right? I know it. You could not stop me from feeling this because it's my intuition going off. And then there's been this gaslighting. Well, then it comes to clarity, right? Everything is revealed. Or it begins to be, the veneer falling away, right? And you start to feel foolish because it's like, hey, I felt this. You told me I was acting crazy. And guess what? It's been true all along. So now I feel like the fool. because I just accepted that maybe I was picking up on things that weren't happening, or maybe I was overthinking it, or I was being jealous, or, you know, kind of looking for something to be wrong. These are all of the highlights, right? You know, greatest hits. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to be gaslit, right? And you're not having it anymore. It's like, all right, I'm out of here. I am out of here. Not sticking around to kind of play this out again. We're not doing a sequel to this one. No. This is a one-off, limited series, right? So I see you kind of marching away. And now we have the horse kind of falling behind. So I feel like it's like you're not exactly ready to get up on the horse and ride out into, you know, the great unknown. But you're marching along. You're steadily going forward, okay? And I think that part of this is, yeah, you need to take your time with it. You know, you've made up your decision. Something has to be changed, as we said. And, right, you're going to have some help along the way, definitely. So, fear not. If you've had it and you're done with this, fear not. Because I think that really, there will be times. We have a tree right here. You can see that scary face, which makes sense. It is the full moon as we speak. I feel like this is the time all the trees kind of, their faces are showing, right? It seems a little surreal, a little bit demented. But I think that this will be a time where, yeah, it feels like things are scarier. There's a little bit of terror in all of this change. You know, it is. There are unknowns. It's a feeling of loss, you know, no matter what it is. If you have to move, maybe you've been in the same place for some years, you're comfortable, you like where you live. Yeah. And then suddenly it's like, I can't cover this rent. It's too much. Gotta move, right? That's scary. You know, you don't know. You don't know what it's going to be like. You don't know if you're going to find a place that suits you, you know, within your price range and so on. You know, one of the ultimate terrors, right, in life. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I've always worried about things like this. Housing, bills, number one. You know, the other, you know, we all worry about, you know, things like infidelity or health issues or whatever. I don't know what it is for me. The practical stuff really is what freaks me out. The rest of it, I feel like I can kind of navigate as well as I can. But yeah, these, you know, and I think probably that's because I've always been, you know, struggling as an adult financially. So it's like, yeah, a move is a big deal. It's expensive, right? So, you know, I feel like there are moments, and I'm not saying that this is about you having to move, but it is, I'm trying to think about what is something that would cause me to feel like there is some amount of terror in my life, being quite afraid, being anxious and, you know, having to rely on other people and all of that. So, you know, just an example, not necessarily what is happening, but I do see you, right, continuing on through this whole ordeal. We also have the angel up here, okay? So I see you evolving through this. I see you finding your strength. I see you getting into the now. And I'm looking at this, it looks like N-O-W, okay, now. And being very present in your life. Because, yeah, you're going through something where you need to be. And ultimately, I feel like this thing is going to work out in your benefit, right? Now let's look at some numbers, then we're going to look at the plate over here and see how that helps kind of clarify what's going to happen here. So we have 191, okay? We also have 39 right here, 39. The number 39. Yes. 39. That's a number I haven't thought about in a while. I should, because I think that's how old I am. Am I 39? Or I'm going to be 39? I can never remember. I'm somewhere. I'm almost 40. I know that. I shall be 40 pretty soon. But I've been telling people I'm 40 for like 5 years. Like, I just round it up. You figure it out. I don't know. All right, let's see. So we have a horse galloping. So we do. I think we finally get moving here. Once you get into this, once you start to like find your footing, you kind of know what you're doing, what you're hoping for. I feel like you really get moving. You really get cooking here. And ultimately, this is going to be a new beginning that you didn't know you needed. We also have the butterfly right here. So I know that there's a lot of self-evolution happening. Now we also have the pin quill, or the quill, I should say, which is like a pin. It often is kind of shown as being a feather, right? And you put it into the ink and then you write your great, life's work, your histories. And so I do feel like this is also a time where, maybe you do some writing. Maybe this is the beginning of your diarist career, right? Or maybe your memoirs or poetry, whatever it is. So I feel like there is a real kind of spotlight here put on your need to be writing, or at least there's a desire, I think. And I think personally, my belief is we all should be writing. It doesn't matter if we have anything interesting to say. It doesn't matter, is this for something at all? Maybe you use it in ritual, automatic writing, some kind of purging or dedication, and there's something about when we're trying to work through something, processing something about the practice of letting yourself think it, feel it, putting it on paper, writing it, physically writing it, right? I don't know. I don't feel like typing it out doesn't hit the same. Although maybe, I don't know, maybe you're somebody who uses like a laptop or, a desktop or whatever. You're typing away. Or maybe you're, kind of a hipster and you still have a typewriter, right? We were all 20 once. We were all 20 once. We all had a typewriter to write our poetry or whatever. I don't know, but maybe a typewriter, there's something about that feels very official. It's the sound, I think. But yes, writing it, which just absolutely, there's something very special about that. Now, writing it and then also reading it out loud, that's a whole other step. The utterance, right? The intentionality of that. It really does. It's powerful. These are spells, right? Even if it doesn't feel like that, it's not in that context. It is. You are speaking your intentions into the world, right? You are speaking your perceptions into the world. You are speaking your feelings, emotions, psychic emanations into the world. Okay? So definitely something to consider getting into if you aren't already. Okay? So let's go ahead. We're going to do our self-care. Set you down here. We're going to do our self-care affirmation. Self-care affirmation cards. Okay, and these are beautiful cards. They're from Purple Canyon. I bought actually, I think 3 decks from the same company, and they're different. I forget what the other one, my husband, shout out to Devin Serpentero, he saw the cards when they arrived, and he immediately took the empowerment one. So I have the self-care, and I forget, there's another deck I have that's purple. I'm going to check those ones out soon too. But they're really cool. I like them. So I'm going to go ahead and stop where it feels right. And we are just going to flip it over. It says, purity of awareness. I am present. My senses are a gift that ground me in this moment. I notice the beauty around me and pay attention to small details of my day. I am mindful. I am mindful. All right. Well, Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, definitely do. I read them. I love them. I love hearing from you. If you are new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comments. And so, yeah, with that, again, I'll tell you, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days from now. Good night. Good night. Good night.